What the hell is this? Am I supposed to break through this? Jump? You know I can't jump, right? What if I touch it and it explodes? I guess I'll just sit here until someone comes and removes this out of my way. I'll just sit on this side of the door. Can't take that risk in my life. What even is this? Does anybody know? Can someone help me out? Anybody? Relax, I have not turned into a dog. But I'm sure a lot of you must have seen this invisible challenge that's going around. It seems to have bamboozled all the pets, but they seem so cute and confused. While I was watching cute videos of this challenge, I noticed how some animals could just break through and jump over the plastic wrap and get over it. But the other animals were left so confused and helpless. They were just looking around as if there's this invisible force field that is going to stop them from entering this door. And I thought to myself, we deal with invisible challenges all throughout our lives. You might be dealing with an invisible challenge right now. These challenges are as silly as plastic wraps, but you think that you can't get past them. Today I want to talk about something that I read a couple of days ago. It's called learned helplessness. As you saw those dogs feeling confused and helpless about what this thing is in front of them, you might be dealing with something like that and feeling helpless about things and situations in your life. Learned helplessness is a psychological term that was studied in 1967, where research was done to see if helplessness is something that can be learned. And it is something that can be learned if you're exposed to a certain situation a couple of times where you actually have no control over the situation. This study was done on a couple of dogs. These dogs were divided into groups, and the dogs were given an electric shock for this experiment. One group of dogs had the option to escape this shock by jumping over a fence or pressing a lever, but the other group of dogs did not have any such option and had to suffer the shock. In the next phase of this experiment, all these dogs were put together, and all had an equal chance to escape the shock by jumping over a fence. The dogs who had this power previously in the first phase exercised this power and escaped the shock, but the ones who had to suffer through the shock in the previous phase did not even try to escape the shock, because they had made themselves believe that there is no way that they could escape this. So the conclusion of this research was that helplessness is something that can be learned if you're exposed to certain situations repeatedly where you have no power. And ultimately, you make yourself believe that you are helpless and powerless in all those situations and similar situations in your life. This research was also done on humans, but they were not given an electric shock, and the same results followed. So it is possible that if you're feeling helpless in a lot of situations in your life, life might have taught you how to feel helpless. But the good news is, you can unlearn this behavior. But unlearning this behavior requires a lot of conscious effort on your part. For the experiment, the dogs had to be physically moved over the fence a couple of times to make them realize that there is a way of escaping this. After a couple of times, they got the hang of it. In the same way, sometimes we think that there is no way of escaping a certain situation or solving a problem because we've made ourselves believe that there is no way. The only thing to do here is understand what the situation is. It might be just as silly as the plastic wrap. In the invisible challenge, the dogs did not know what the thing was. In your life, you might not know what the situation is. You might be scared of breaking through, jumping over, or even going close to that thing. When we did the invisible challenge, we planted this plastic wrap in front of our pets. Some pets are smart enough to realize this and get over it, but some are just left confused. Similarly, in our life, we might have this plastic wrap around us, this invisible force field around us that might be stopping you from doing something. You might be just as confused about this thing as this pet was. All you need to do is evaluate the situation. Notice your thoughts about the situation. More than the situation, your pessimistic thoughts about yourself are stopping you from going ahead. The pets thought that they couldn't get over it, but in reality, we knew that they could. In the same way, people around you believe that you can get over a certain situation, and they are willing to help you get through it. But it is your call if you want to get out of a certain problem or not. Without the will or desire to come out of a problem, nobody can help you. And to unlearn this learned helplessness, you will need support. You will need external help. Some people can do it on their own, but some people require help, and it is okay to ask for help. If a lot of circumstances in your life have been rough on you and you had to suffer through them, you might feel helpless in a lot of other situations as well. You might have been letting someone else dictate how you live your life. And if all you do is complain about your relationships, your jobs, your friendships, and how everything in your life is not going the way you want it to, part of the reason is that you don't want to change your life. You need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Why are you afraid of taking a step? How can you have more control over your life? What actions can you take? How will those actions affect the people that are around you? Change brings disruption, and sometimes people are afraid of bringing about this change. But as you saw, if you don't do anything about a situation, you will be stuck there forever. You will do nothing but complain about it all throughout your life. So if you think that you might have learned how to be helpless, please take a step and unlearn this process. It will take time, it will take some conscious effort, but the end result is you will be able to get past that door. Hi, I'm Bhagyashree, and if you want to read more about learned helplessness, check out the link I've mentioned in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.